Hi there, I'm Tennis,
I'm Eric.
and we're the Tree Guys, and welcome to another episode of Tree Talk. We thought this might be a good idea to talk about the amazing cooling power of trees. Now, Eric and I are standing in the shade of a beautiful tree canopy, and this is what most people think of when we talk about trees and cooling, the shade that they provide. And the shade is important. In fact, trees planted near your house that provide shade.
I know that shade is a great passive way that trees intercept the sun to provide some cooling, but there's also an active way that they cool things too through a process called evapotranspiration.
Evapotranspiration. Well, it sounds like we're at the National Spelling Bee, which is a little early for that. That sounds like a complicated process.
Well, turns out it's not really that complicated. Why don't we go take a look at this beautiful American linden and we'll talk about it.
Sounds great. Trees breathe. They take in carbon dioxide and they give back oxygen. It's part of the photosynthesis process. They do this through tiny pore-like structures called stoma on the underside of leaves. But the stoma also perform an important function. Most of the water, a significant amount of the water that trees pull up through their vascular tissue doesn't actually get used by the tree. And we'll talk more about that when we talk about the ability of trees to mitigate flooding and storm events. But the excess water gets released through the stoma, these little pores on the underside of leaves.
Huh, a little bit like sweat, huh?
In fact, it's exactly like sweat, because as this water evaporates, it cools the air surrounding the tree.
Well, when I sweat, it cools my body down a good bit. How much does it cool down the surrounding area when a tree sweats?
Well, that's a really good question, and that is probably the most important question, because if it was just keeping the tree cool, we probably wouldn't care that much. That cooling can be detected as far as 1,200 feet away from the canopy of a mature tree. So everybody within 1,200 feet of that tree enjoys that cooling benefit in addition to this shade.
So when you plant a tree, you're not just helping yourself, but your entire neighborhood?
Exactly, and that's one of the reasons why we try to plant 5 trees per acre in environmental justice neighborhoods here in Lawrence. Because by planting 5 trees per acre, when those trees mature, we're going to be cooling on a neighborhood scale, which makes everyone more comfortable, and it helps save a lot of electricity because people's air conditioners don't have to work as hard.